So I'll play this one because it actually gets hard pretty quickly. So the whole point of the game is you're a drill, and you're supposed to be able to drill through your enemy. So you are the weapon was my line of thinking when coming up with this concept. You hold the A button to drill. There's a limited fuel that regenerates on the upper right hand corner, and I know that it's lagging on your streams. I'm sorry about that. I don't understand why it's so laggy, to be completely honest. Maybe we can take out this chat for the time being. Alright, let's try that. Okay, oh no, it's running pretty badly. So, there's kind of two phases to the game. You're trying to select a enemy to attack, which each has different names, and it has at the bottom you can tell how far away you are from the enemy. And then from there, your enemies will shoot bullets with an exception of asteroids, which recovers your health. And it's kind of like a two-phase thing. You're dodging bullets first, and then eventually, once you get close enough to the enemy, you can drill into them. Alright. Drilling will make you invulnerable, so go right on ahead. You can actually play this game by just drilling only without even dodging bullets. It's not recommended to do that because it's really hard to do so, but it's possible. The lag is concerning me. Let me try something different. There we go. Okay, let's try this. Seems to be running a tiny bit smoother. The music was made in GarageBand on the iPad. I basically turned a lot of autoplay on and just kind of played around with all sorts of different instruments and composited the results together. I'm not switching any targets because this game is actually easier to play without switching targets. The only reason why I put it in there from the first place is because asteroids are limited in number. So, you know, you want to be able to hit the asteroids sooner should you lose a lot of health. Yeah, the frame rate is absolutely horrendous. I'm sorry, I'm not really sure what's going on there. I just need to get a better computer, I guess. This was a pretty darn expensive computer though back when I was buying it. Ouch. Alright. Cool. Alright, that was cool. Totally did not mean to program that together, but I think that was cool anyways. Alright. Oh, where did you go? Oh, so one thing I didn't mention was if you hit an enemy, you'll automatically reverse as a sort of an extra, so it gives you like an extra attempt to kind of go through that process one more time. This guy isn't completely inaccurate in his shots. I wrote a post-mortem about this. It's titled, I hate my popular game, the Star Driller Ultra Post-Mortem, which actually got featured on Gama Sutra, but it was actually kind of interesting to see all sorts of different reactions that people had with that clickbait title. I had one on Reddit where one person was like, saying, "Dude, you're your own worst critic. This game is freaking awesome, and you should just like make better sound effects and so forth, and make this into like a real game, man." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's kind of cool that people actually love the game in its current state." On Gama Sutra, there was a comment where a guy is like, "Yeah, people judge games based off of either looks or whether it's crazy," and he's like, "Those are bad criteria to judge. I mean, why?" He basically went on to complain about you know, how the judging process is so broken, and that we should be judging on different criteria, such as, does this game want to make you replay it again? Is it interesting? Is it fun? Kind of stuff. I don't necessarily have to agree with the fun part, but I do agree with, does it last? Does the experience, when you think about it, does it want you to go back and play it, or does it, like, is it something that's a really memorable experience that makes you want to, like, see more about what the creator was thinking about? I think, like, those kind of criterias are really important to me. But anyways, there was like a lot of discussions just coming out from that postmortem, which was really fascinating from my developer standpoint to watch. This game is entirely open source, naturally due to Compo's rules. You can find it under Bitbucket. Somebody actually already forked it, so that's kind of cool to see. I'm pretty excited to see what comes out from that person's effort. All the sound effects were created in BFXR. Yeah, not much else. I do mutate the pitch. Basically, I just randomize it within a certain range. Oh, I'm out of fuel. Before I play the sound effect under Unity. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this is in fact a Unity game. Graphics were made in Blender. I have a guide on how I made the graphics, so you can check that out at omiyagames.com. That's spelled O-M-I-Y-A games. So, around level 5 to level 7, a lot of people actually give up. I think I'm at level 7 already. I'm playing on a game controller, by the way. It's highly recommended that you play on an Xbox 360 controller. Oh, no, I'm out of fuel. Alright, got it. I'm actually a programmer by trade, so the graphics are out of practicality, largely. I simply don't have the ability to spend the time and make really awesome graphics. So I make these kind of abstract stuff instead that's close enough to its resemblance that you get the idea that, okay, those guys actually move. Same drill for the music. I have no experience whatsoever in music composition. So I just go with whatever happens to sound good with any tools that makes it as easy as possible. So we're finally getting to the area levels where a lot of people don't actually make it to. Yeah, that's weird. I don't like how the bullets have colliders and they hit between each other and enemies. So you'll see a lot of places where like the enemy, some bullets are stuck sandwiched between several enemies. Oh, whoops. Alright, got that. Oh, no. Alright, I'm in a dangerous situation here. The health bar lies. It's actually, it's longer than it appears. Your health is actually a lot smaller than, well, not a lot, but it's slightly smaller than the health bar implies. So whenever it says danger, like, that is a good time to start hitting asteroids, because you're pretty darn desperate by then. camera could use a little work, but for me it's mostly like orienting myself, having a little patience. Alright, I got those two on the bag. That's cool. Ouch. Yeah, you really want to be drilling as many times as possible because, as mentioned earlier, it keeps you invulnerable. Alright. Mainly when I made this, I had Sky Gunner in mind actually. Alright, yeah, so now I'm going to be aiming for the asteroids because my health is in danger. Oh no. I don't know why that didn't recover as much health as I thought it would. Asteroids are supposed to recover about half your health meter. Actually, more than that. Darn it. Alright, yeah, this level is a little hard. I hope I'm entertaining you, Anthony, while you're just watching.
Yeah.
This is like our devs play right here, our monthly series, semi-monthly-ish series of Let's Plays where the developers themselves commentate on their design decisions on their video games. You actually do have a brief moment of invincibility. You wouldn't know because I gave no graphical indication of it, but it is there to prevent, you know, enemies from double hitting you. Oh no. Alright. Alright. Oh. Just keep orbiting that for a while. Okay, good. I'm gonna see if I can beat this game without actually, oh gosh. Oh man. So, enemies are actually really bad at aiming. And in fact, my way to mitigate that is that, every bullet has a very tiny window where it'll home at you regardless of what type it is. The golden ones will always home at you throughout its lifetime. It will eventually disappear, but it will always home at you, versus the red ones, which homes at you for the first 5 seconds that they appear. I think it's 5 seconds. Maybe it's 3. This is actually like my favorite part of the music. I don't like the rest of the music at all. It loops really well though. Yeah! Alright, so this is finally the level where nobody ever makes it to because it's hard. But it introduces Type N enemies, which has these gigantic lasers that absolutely covers the screen. They're easy to dodge actually. You just have to keep them, you know, moving to the right or left or something. You are invulnerable to the beams during your drilling stages, so yes, by all means take advantage of that. Okay, this level is actually the hardest. There is 10 levels in this game, but the 10th level is nowhere near as hard as this. Well, I mean, it is actually pretty darn hard, but it is noticeably easier in my opinion. Okay, that was a close one. Okay, under 50 I should be able to make it then. Ouch. Alright, good. I mean, a lot of my skill at working as a full-time indie has been working on polishing how to make drilling feel good, right? How to make the visuals look spectacular in the sense that anyone would want to play the game. So, one thing, I feel like I got a good grasp of making a game that feels good, that feels like it's a lot of things, every action have oomph and like weight to them. When I made the post-mortem about Star Driller Ultra, talking about how much I hated it, what I fundamentally wanted to talk about was the fact that game mechanic-wise, I think this game is actually really poor. It doesn't keep the player engaged. There's a lot of moments of downtime, like right now. And at least to me, I see that as a failing of a designer, a failing of creating a playable, usable game that consistently makes the player engaged throughout the entire experience. So, you know, that's why I wrote that. I'm always a believer that the game mechanic is by and far the most important part of the game. If the game mechanic is not solid, and that doesn't necessarily mean, like, you know, visual novels, the game mechanics is solid as well. People obviously find it fun and it works, so I'm okay with that kind of stuff. When I say, like, if your game mechanic is not interesting to the person who's playing it, then I feel like the entire game is a failure regardless of how beautiful it is, how well constructed it is, the music is awesome, any sort of, all that kind of stuff. So I just kind of like wanted to put that into the discussion, like make sure that your game mechanics is solid first before you go start making this visually awesome kind of game, and this to me is a lesson to that. This is why we do Ludum Dare stuff, right? To experiment, to make sure that within a short amount of time we can confirm that the game that we had in mind is in fact fun or not. Or at least is in fact conveys the experience that you had in mind. I'm not a believer that games has to be fun, to be completely honest. I'm okay with games not being fun. What I care most about is experience. To think, oh, did I have a memorable experience that makes me think, that makes me want to see more of it? Generally speaking, I think nowadays making a fun game is actually easy, but to be fair, I speak of it as a guy who, you know, worked really hard on making juicy games like these. So these things to me comes rather intuitively. But when a game, you know, tries to make you cry, when it tries to make you think about politics maybe, the fact that it's trying to make you think something different from what you will normally expect in video games always fascinates me, and that's always something that I'm trying to achieve with my games as well. Now, granted, I think I achieved that, I did a pretty good job with that with the unconventional stick swinging simulator, since I was aiming to create a comedy in that case, but, you know, I made that game more out of boredom, if anything. when I say in my post-mortem that I think I did a better job of making a game that I intended the experience to be, that's exactly what I mean with Unconventional Stick Swinging Simulator. It's a comedy, it's supposed to be funny, and it does a better job of meeting that expectation. Now, obviously, I also think the game is really bad. It's very deliberately bad, so I have no plans on... I know one of the person who was commentating on the game was saying, like, dude, this is a terrible game, stop making it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, I don't have any intention of selling that game. So I'm in agreement with anyone who says, like, the game is absolutely terrible. I made it that way. That's very much intentional. But because it was intentional and yet people seem to like it, I think I did a good job of making, you know, a comedy game. Oh, whoops. I misjudged my distance. Probably next time, if I were to make this game, I would make the lock-on absolutely controllable. In the same way in Zelda, they're controllable as well. And I would probably angle the camera down a little bit so that you can actually see the bullets coming towards you. It's hard to see the bullets coming towards you right now because the ship blocks your view. And you just have to kind of go by intuition whenever you see a little flash like that. Oh, ouch. Obviously, I would make the camera a lot tighter, and likewise, I would make the controls a lot more reactive, because I'm a believer of, you know, fast-moving Twitch controls, and this doesn't have that, in my opinion. And this is my favorite part, the credits. I always try to do something unique with the credits whenever I can. And like, I kind of like the targeting reticule so much that I'm like, alright, I'll just make the credits exactly out of that. Obviously, because there's a compo entry, I pretty much made everything by myself, with an exception of the fonts. And then I also have a Patreon campaign page. We only charge money from the donors when we actually make a game. This is one of those games where we charge for... I didn't actually charge for the Unconventional Stick Swinging Simulator because I felt like that was a game that nobody asked for, so... But anyways, yeah, we only charge when we actually get a game done, unlike Kickstarter, which, you know, charges game before the game is even done. And unlike most Patreon campaigns where they charge monthly. So, just to let you guys know, if you're interested in supporting us, we are trying to be as fair as possible. Nowadays, we haven't been good with keeping up with a 1-month schedule that we originally intended for when we made that Patreon campaign. But, you know, that means that every donor on the Patreon page does not suffer from that. They don't get a game. The only thing they suffer is they don't get a game, but they don't lose any money as a consequence. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all the Tech Valley Game Space games that we've played. We're already well over our time limit at 12:22. So, thanks for watching, and we will split up these games as soon as we can on YouTube. I know it's already it's going to be past judging period when we have them all done, but really, we want to thank you, all of you, for submitting your games. We had an absolutely spectacular amount of time. I mean, I'm sure Anthony would agree as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some really amazing games that's been created.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that. And, you know, if you happen to be living close to the capital region of New York, let us know, and, you know, check us out every once in a while. We have an office in a city called Troy, downtown Troy to be exact. You can find us online at techvalleygamespace.com. We are, you know, trying to create a developers community here, so we are always looking for new, fresh ideas. Everyone, of course, is welcome, so check us out. I will see you next time
anyone in the
in the
chat.
next Ludum Dare. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.